HyperDocs are a great way to incorporate new media in your daily lessons. If you have never heard of HyperDocs, that's okay. They are fairly new. So why should HyperDocs be used in the classroom? Students have unlimited access to new media in all forms, and they know how to use it, though not always in their best interest. Students need guidance and organization to help them focus on new media that will assist them in their learning. So what is a HyperDoc? First of all, a HyperDoc is not simply a Google Doc with links that do not call for the student to complete a task. All HyperDoc links should have a purpose and a task assigned to it. It is not a pre-made curriculum. Teachers still should be very involved in creating their own curriculum. A HyperDoc can be used to help teach this curriculum. It is also not just a new app or web tool. It is a teaching strategy that pulls apps and web tools together for student use. HyperDocs are digital lesson plans that are most effective when put to use by a content knowledge teacher. They are visually appealing and engaging for the student, and they promote students to create, collaborate, think critically, and connect. Here's an example of a HyperDoc template. It can be found on the website of the ladies who came up with HyperDocs. We will discuss that in a moment. Basically, students are given access to a Google Doc that looks something like this. They see instructions and engaging titles that prompt them to click, watch, read, play, and/or collaborate. Within these instructions are links that take them to the appropriate task. Here's another example of a HyperDoc. In this case, it is not a template, but is a pre-made lesson that can be used within a teacher's solar energy curriculum. All instructions, tasks, and assessments are already made. The really neat thing, though, is that these lessons can be edited to suit your students' learning needs. So how do you get started? If you want to create your own HyperDoc from scratch, first plan your lesson. What is it you want your students to learn or know? How would you like to teach your students the material? Gather any resources and materials that will assist you in teaching the lesson. YouTube videos about monkeys living in a jungle, notes on the Roman Empire, high-interest articles about math use and architecture, websites for collaboration, or apps that promote creativity. Anything that you will use during the lesson to teach your students what you want them to know. Make a plan. Create a storyboard or a blueprint first so that you can visually see the layout of your HyperDoc. What special instructions will you need to share with your students for them to be able to know what to do with the links you have provided? What will students need to do or accomplish for learning to take place? It's a great idea to pull all resources and materials together on your digital device so that when creating the HyperDoc, all links are at your fingertips. To get started, you will need to start with a blank Google Doc and insert your directions and instructions along with the hyperlinks to the resources, materials, and activities that you want your students to access during the lesson. It would be very nice to change the background of the Google Doc to different colors, add pictures, and put individual tasks and directions in different text boxes. This creates a visually appealing layout and further creates engagement for the learner. Of course, you could just use a template or a pre-made lesson. Next, you will want to test it out. Go through the HyperDoc as if you were the student. Do all links work? Does it flow well and is it easy to navigate? Is it rigorous enough for your learner? Does it meet the educational needs of your students? If you still need some help, you can visit the website at the bottom of this document. Kelly Hilton, Lisa Highfill, and Sarah Landis are credited for creating the HyperDoc concept. They provide many resources for the educator. Their website and book layout, beautiful templates for educational use. It's quick and easy to get started. Simply download the HyperDoc template of your choice from their website that is fully compatible with Google Docs, then customize it to fit your educational purpose. And remember, have fun. Be creative. Think of old lessons that you have used and that can be turned into HyperDocs. Search the web. Lots of resources and ideas are out there. Finally, listen to your students. What formats do they like most? Do they enjoy videos, articles, or games during learning? What are some of their favorite tasks? Remember, HyperDocs are meant to help engage students, so they should be a part of the designing process. Happy HyperDocking!